Yo, what is going on, guys? TymeStopper here, coming back at you with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, in this video, we're talking about Hydra. We're talking about nerfs, changes, and all kinds of good news coming for Hydra. So, let's jump into the video. Okay, so we knew last week Plarium did tease us with a little bit of information that there would be some changes coming to the Hydra clan boss. Some things they were going to add some additional difficulty levels, but they also said things were going to get a little bit easier. Now, they have just dropped the most massive Hydra news we have to date. And I gotta be honest, I am super pumped about some of this information, so I wanted to bring it to you right away. So first off, this is in the Raid Discord. It says another 2 weeks have passed, blah, 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 Raid Digest. Let's talk about the champion upgrade rank bug. You know what? We don't care about that. We're here for Hydra news. So let's move on, right? Hydra difficulty adjustments. As you know, we're working on changes to lower the difficulty of Hydra. Finally. And those changes are around the corner. Here's the short of it. The following stats are going to be decreased for all difficulties: HP, attack, and defense. That is awesome. Some of these heads just have massive amounts of defense or attack, and unless you have some ungodly champions, you just can't fight them. You know, the Hydra unlocks at a pretty low level for most people, but yet you can't really do anything against it until you have some of these more OP champions. So hopefully they're going to lower it enough that it's going to be a significant change. Now, it doesn't say in here what those changes are, but hopefully they're going to be good enough. It also mentions here the countdown of the mark of the Hydra is going to be increased from 16 to 20 turns. Now, this is usually where your Hydra runs start to go really wrong. When you're fighting the Hydra and you start getting that mark of Hydra out there and it starts counting down and you're running out of turns and it swallows one of your champions and you only have so long to get them back, sometimes it gets to the point where you got two champions that are swallowed you're trying to get back. So increasing it from 16 to 20 turns to start with is certainly going to be much, much better. It's going to give you more opportunity at the beginning of the fight to get some damage in. It's also going to give you more of an opportunity once you get your champion back until that next champion gets swallowed to maybe recover some of your HP and kind of bring some of your abilities back, like your big hitter abilities, so that you're not struggling with not being able to get your champions back. Right now, the way it is, you got to bring so many damaged champions in there because the mark of the Hydra, like, you just run out of time. This is going to make it much better. You're going to be able to bring tankier champions, more of them, and drag the fight out a little bit longer. It says, while the damage required to interrupt digestion and free your champion will also be decreased on every difficulty except for Nightmare. So, pretty good change. I mean, Nightmare should be one of the harder difficulties, so I don't know that that's a bad change. I mean, they're going to increase the mark either way and the stats on all of the heads. So this is really only going to affect how much damage it takes to bring that champion back out. So if they're going to decrease that, again, that is going to be a really big win. You won't have to do as much damage. So it's kind of a double dip, right? They're going to lower the stats, number one, of the head. So it's going to have less HP, it's going to have less defense, and you're going to be able to get it out quicker because it's going to require less damage to be done to it. So it's kind of like a double dip. I'm afraid to say it might get too easy. Don't flame me in the comments, guys. Now, also, how soon can we expect some of these changes? Well, if all goes well, on May 24th, we'll release the patch that will bring changes to the Hydra and tame its rage a bit. Considering the next Hydra rotation is set to reset on May 25th, the current Hydra rotation will have new stats for 1 day. Now, guys, we have CVC coming up, so I would not wait and bank on doing all of your Hydra keys on that last day because you're going to be working on CVC at the same time. More news on CVC in just a minute. I already saw it. You're not going to like it. It says, if you still have a key, you can join by then. It says, additionally, there is going to be a boost in Hydra chest rewards and it will also go live with this patch. If there are any changes to the schedule, we'll inform you. Now, no information on what that means. Does that mean better drop rates for the gear? Does it mean more clan gold? Does it mean more Mithrala fragments? Does it mean finally something for those of you guys that have been fighting Hydra since the beginning and already have Mithrala and really are only doing it for gear at this point? We don't know at this point, but hopefully something good. Either way, more rewards is definitely nice. Now, if I'm being honest, what I'd really like to see is something else in place of the Mithrala fragments. I'd love to see something like a universal fragment that you can use to go back and have it apply to old fragment champions. That would be the best case scenario. Maybe it doesn't apply to Doom Tower champions, but let it apply to any of the old fragment champions. I mean, I know that they put these fragment offers in the shop from time to time, but almost no one buys them. They're too expensive. This would give people an opportunity to go back and get fragment champions, which aren't generally OP champions to begin with. So I don't think that they should have a problem with that, but great opportunity for people to maybe do that if they were willing to put some other fragments in there. I think that would keep people engaged, because just adding more clan gold and just adding more gear and better drop rates for the gear, I don't know that that's going to be enough to keep people engaged in Hydra long term, but I guess we'll see. Now, it also says the changes will not be purely stats, but also the Hydra abilities. For example, the Head of Decay was so gleeful after the number of champions it helped demolish this couple of months, so it became prideful, arrogant, and even now is susceptible to provocation. For more details on changes to other Hydra heads, don't miss in-game news that will accompany the release of the patch, or follow your favorite content creator news videos. So that means that, one, we already know, and I've already seen some other leaks about this, basically the cleansing head that everyone hates, you know, it cleans your buffs off with one of its moves, and then the other move, it's going to clean the buffs off of, or the debuffs off of one champion, and it's going to also put that shield on there. So this head is going to be able to be provoked so that it can only use its A1. Now, it will still hit the champion with the least amount of HP on the team. That's not going to change, but you'll be able to provoke it so that it can only do its A1 skill. This is massive if timed properly. It is completely changing the game, because you're no longer worried about it removing all of your buffs off of everyone. If you can time this properly, maybe it only does the single cleanse and the shield, because most provokes are 1-2 turns at maximum. Of course, this is going to make your boy Krisk even that much better for Hydra, but hey, what are you going to do? There are so many provoke champions that this is going to open up and make better for us, including the current fusion champion, Bivald, because not only does he provoke, but he can provoke on a weak hit, which means that his affinity will not matter when going against that head. Now, of course, knowing Plarium, that head probably won't be in the beginning of the rotation, but hey, whatever, you know what I mean? We also know that some other changes are going to be coming through, which I'm assuming is what they're talking about in the notes. Now, the Head of Wrath, the defense stat is going to be decreased on all difficulties in order to make this damage dealer head less tanky. I mean, is that in addition to the original one? I don't really know. We also know that the Head of Mischief, the one that steals your buffs, the cooldown of its A2 Spoils of Mischief will increase from 3 to 4 turns. Now, if we go look at the Head of Mischief and its Spoils one, if I'm not mistaken, yes, that's buff spread effect. So after it steals your buffs and puts them on itself, that's the one where it's going to spread them on its team. So this is going to go from a 3-turn to a 4-turn cooldown, which is pretty awesome. So we know that one. We know the Wrath. We know the Decay one. Maybe there's some other stuff coming that they haven't announced in this list. I'm not 100% sure. Hopefully it's something good though. And lastly here, not something that has to do with Hydra, but some important news nonetheless. I guess I'm kind of in the way a little bit, but it says that in the traditional CVC announcement, this CVC is going to include personal rewards. Yes, back to back personal rewards. So I hope you guys have some stuff saved up. Save this fusion up. Hopefully you have some other fusions saved up. Hopefully your guns are ready to go. You got a couple days advance notice. But again, I would not wait for the Hydra changes to drop on the last day of Hydra, because if they do, and let's say something goes wrong with the patch and they don't happen, now you're struggling with the current rotation to try to do Hydra during a personal reward CVC. That doesn't sound like it's any fun to me. But I got to be honest, some of these changes I am a big fan of. Major fan of some of these changes. Hopefully there'll be some more changes to the heads. I mean, honestly, I would really like some changes to happen to the poison cloud head. Like maybe people can hit through the poison cloud, like you can burn through it no matter what, or something like that. I think that's going to make a lot of burners a lot more viable if they would make that change, because right now there's so many HP burners that you just can't even use because of it, because they hit, which means that it's no good. So hopefully that'll be a change, but who knows? They say there's going to be more changes in the game news, so hopefully it's all good. So far, great first steps. I love that they're kind of listening and making some adjustments and things like that. Hopefully this is going to make it more attainable and easier for some of you guys out there to, you know, smack the Hydra on some of the harder difficulties. I get a lot of comments from people that can't even get past hard because the jump from hard to brutal is such a big difference. So hopefully it's going to make a huge difference for you guys. But let me know in the comments down below, what do you guys think about these changes? Is it enough? Do they need more? And which of these are you most excited about? I am most excited about being able to provoke the Head of Decay, because at the end of the day, that is by far the most annoying head to me on any one of the rotations. But guys, I do want to thank you guys so much for watching. Of course, if you did like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and as always, until next time, be good.